All right, let's play a game. We're going to play show, but don't tell us the connection of something to your book. So you have an object to share with us?
I do.
What you got?
Just found it the other weekend.
Oh, that's amazing. Do you
Really?
know
Yep.
what the species of butterfly is?
I do. It's why I picked it up.
Ah.
Um, it's so how much do I not tell about it?
Well, you know what? Why don't we put a pin in it and we'll come back.
Okay.
I
All
did
right.
bring an object too, so I'm going to share. And so this is my object.
Okay.
And we will tell our audience about it a little later.
Yeah.
So, hey everyone, I'm Kiersten Marcil, author and adventurer into history. I write the Revolutionary War fantasy saga, The Enlightened, and I am here with my friend who's going to introduce himself.
My name is Andrew Valenza. I am an author, the author of the Empire Marathon, a sci-fi adventure series. Um, and as well a publisher for authors around my region. Maybe one day a larger area, but right now all we can handle.
That's cool though, because you guys are like a team. You go everywhere. So it's cool that you're all local right now. All right. So let's jump in. Tell us about your book series because when I started reading it, one of the first things that grabbed me was your couple. The main characters are already in space. They're already married and they're coming up on their first anniversary. And that really struck me. So, what do we got?
Yeah, so that was so the conception for this book came out earliest as what if Flash Gordon and Ellen Ripley swapped genres and somehow over a course of about 10 minutes that was like, well, what if they were a couple? And then, they're already copywritten characters, so I can't just use them. Um, so, but I liked the idea of a married couple, an already established married couple. The way the plot is set up, they're a team. They know they're going out on this 5 to 10 year mission, so they have to be compatible in some way. And if anything goes wrong, well, at least humanity is somewhere else. So for me, it made sense that we book a couple that's already married. Um, in the book, they weren't married when the mission started, um, but because of certain inspirations, I wanted the focus of this book to be about their love.
Yeah.
Um, and not as something that would ever be tested, but
Okay.
the strength of their love is the driving force throughout. Um, so at one point, my sister gave it a read, and she said, "Oh well, and I was noticing some chemistry with Lacey and this other character. Maybe at one point they could, you know." I was like, "No, Dex, it's not really a spoiler, kind of a spoiler, but Lacey are the will never bring the book into this territory of oh no, there's trouble in paradise because they are the ideal couple. They're the it couple.
Yeah.
Um, he will do anything for her, and she will keep his head tightly screwed onto his shoulders, and they will never give up on each other.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah.
It's very different from like my series where they're not a couple and
Mhm.
there's obstacles. So every book I'm looking for a third party to sort of disrupt the progress. So I like that yours is different like that. Um, do you have a favorite emotional scene from your book that you
Yes,
can share?
I do. Um, so there's like one scene in each book that encapsulates their relationship really well. In the first book, and ironically, it's from a um, storytelling tool that I don't like at all, but
Uh,
it's the flashback scene. Um, the first real moment of levity in the story after everything's gone to hell. Dex is reflecting on their first date. Um, and what I really love about these characters is in all of these stories, these books are a very clear homage to the movies I grew up on. Um, but all these movies, like Flash Gordon's a great example because there's a scene in Flash Gordon where, because he's such an action hero, he falls into a swamp, and when he comes out of the swamp, his hair is still perfect. My characters are not action heroes. They're scientists, they're explorers. When Dex is preparing for the final fight, he's watching old Errol Flynn movies to learn how to sword fight. So this scene really shows them that even though we know what he's capable of up until this point, he is still a terrified guy when he finally has the opportunity to go on a date with the woman that he knows he's going to make his wife one day. Um, and a lot of it did come from I'd been talking to my wife for a few weeks. We were getting to each other, but we hadn't gone on a date yet. And once I saw her in person, I was like, I'm gonna marry this girl, and it
Nice.
was terrifying but wonderful. Um, in the second book, there's the calm before the storm scene. They're caught in a storm, find some shelter, and find this pool that's illuminated by diamond sparkling rain uh, wash off, and it's probably the most physically intimate scene in it.
Hmm.
Um, Almost two full books in, where Lacey's able to see exactly what he went through in the first book
Yeah.
to get her back, and gives really great insight into those trials um, that fades to black, but in an appropriate way. That makes it so much not about the physical intimacy, but the joy of having someone you truly love forever who's willing to sacrifice everything. So those moments are always my favorite.
That's awesome. It was so funny because, like you, I don't like the perfection that we see in some movies where they come out of the swamp and the hair is perfect, or they get into a situation that they've never been into before, like scientists in a place where they don't belong, and suddenly they're like the action hero. I love that you don't do it.
Well, again, I love Flash Gordon,
Oh,
but I
sure.
love Flash Gordon for different reasons.
Right. Well, have you ever heard the story from Star Wars when they were filming the first Star
Yeah,
Wars film? Yes,
I
yes. And
just showed
Mark
my
Hamill's
dad
like,
that
shouldn't
clip.
we be all like messy?
It's not that kind of movie,
No, that
kid.
kind of movie kid. So awesome. All right. Why don't we talk about Star Wars? Because I
Okay.
understand you were reading your way through the novelizations. That's still
hmm
a goal. How's that going?
I am working on it. I have not had much time for reading, um, and since we prepared for the official release of Gods of the Void, the month prior to, I probably read about two chapters of a book, a Star Wars book. Um,
That's fair. It's a lot of work to put out a book.
yeah,
Do
but
you
no, I have been working through them, and
do you have a
some
favorite?
great and terrible. So there's two favorites. The first one was Shadow of the Empire. It was a 1993 release, I think, 93 or 94. Um, a big Lucasfilm multimedia push to keep Star Wars relevant while they were getting ready to start work on the prequels. And it's a story that takes place in between episodes 5 and 6. And I read this thinking, this should be episode 6. There should have been 4 movies. This is a
Uh,
perfect Star Wars story. And what caught me mostly off guard about it was I read it about 2 years after I published Empire, and obviously Star Wars was a big influence on my books. And now I found a book, I get to the climax, and it is almost beat for beat, even like character type in certain character types in certain places doing very specific actions. And I was beating myself over the head when I first read because I was like, well, it looks like I ripped this off now.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting really annoyed, but I considered it more, and I was like, oh, I had no knowledge of this. Like, I genuinely had no knowledge. I'm a major Star Wars fan. This writer is clearly also a major Star Wars fan because he gets the character so perfectly. And we came to the same conclusion organically
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
to how these stories look and feel. So that was very validating for me. And then tied with that is the Star Wars Episode 3 novelization because it's just a work of art. It's just the prose in that book are absolutely amazing. How it talks about these characters in a very mythological way
Mm-hmm.
and presenting it like the tragedy it is. And there are certain scenes that books don't make me cry often, and it's a movie I've seen a million times.
Yeah.
Yet reading it in this style with these prose, it just did something to me.
Oh, that's awesome.
It broke me.
Oh
It
no.
was so good.
You made me think of I am reading a book. I never would have read it, but for the fact I was at Barnes and Noble. It was a buy one, get one half off of hardcovers, and the one behind the register was like, you should go grab something. So I
Mm.
grabbed this. It's called Writing, Creativity, and Soul by Sue Monk Kidd. And you made me think of it. It's really good. It's a little bit about, it's mostly about her, a little bit about writing technique, how to.
Mhm.
But she talked about just how a good story just comes to a natural conclusion. It's just what has to
Mhm.
happen next. And I think you definitely must have hit on that. It's just sometimes this is an eternal truth of what must happen next.
That's sometimes the worst part about it, because the story will go into places that you just emotionally aren't ready for or don't want to go, but is
Hmm.
the next step, just like in life, whether you want it to or not, it's coming.
Yeah.
So it's not about so much the inevitability of dealing with it, but
Hmm.
when it comes, how are you going to deal with it?
Right, right. Because the situation that your characters are in are just, it is the logical conclusion, just not, like you said, how they deal with it.
Yeah.
Um, are you formally trained as a writer? Because you did mention how you don't like doing flashbacks and don't like that as a technique.
So my my writing experience, um, I didn't go to college for writing. I'll
Okay.
say that. My introduction to writing was actually in high school. Um, the art teacher tried a pilot program for creative writing, and I took that year because he was a really cool guy, and now we work together.
Yeah.
JT McGee, author of Thrall.
Awesome.
Um, and after high school, I joined the army, and my first job was as a combat photographer. But I ended up mostly doing a lot of photojournalism and then sometimes actual journalism. So I had to learn how to write.
Yeah.
Um, and then I went back to school with the Army in 2022 and got a little bit more in depth um, writing experience. But that was all journalism writing. Um,
Very different style.
and I worked for a newspaper and I do a lot of writing for the Army, but news stuff. Um, my literary experience comes from reading a lot,
Mm.
watching a lot of movies to see how storytelling works,
Yeah.
listening to a lot of other people talk about storytelling and writing, but I don't have any credentials in it. Yeah, I think my news experience, my journalism experience, does show in my books
Hmm.
because the key to journalism is the ABCs: accuracy, brevity, and clarity. And my books being pulpy and being lighthearted adventures,
Yeah.
fit for a 2 hour runtime, are that they are. I unconsciously strive for not so much accuracy because there's not a lot of accurate science in these books, which my dad feels the need to point out, um, and my brother. But it's not overly fluffy.
Hmm.
And a great comment that I've gotten on it is that it's very clear. It's
Good.
people have said it's very easy to picture this as a movie. the action's easy to follow,
Ah.
without being too simple,
Mhm.
um, and it flows well. So
I
journalism helped there.
but you know what? I think for some people, because I have no formal training in creative writing either, other than I took a class in undergrad that I couldn't tell you a thing about because I don't remember.
Mhm.
But at least for me, I found that did not hurt me. I think it helped me because I didn't know the rules and I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. Um, would you say that that life experience is the same thing for you, or did it kind of steer how you write?
To begin with, it's great to have an editor.
Yes.
Um, because the first thing you need is a story.
Yeah.
And if the story doesn't flow in an organic way,
Hmm.
um, if there's threads that don't begin or end properly, um, an editor can only do like you're only going to get so far by making uh, good sentences.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm always trying to better myself, learn that side of it better. But the first step is, what is the story? What are you trying to communicate? Um, and as long as you have that, then you can make the attempt to communicate it with decent, actual words and grammar. But I mean, so many creatives. I mean, get an education, of course, get an education,
Yeah.
learn as much as you can. But so many of the best storytellers say that they learned from reading and
Hmm.
watching movies
Totally.
and sharing stories and writing and failing and making new drafts.
Yeah.
Um, uh, a degree is wonderful to have, um, but it's not a stamp that your stories will be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. If you, even the best trained person,
Mhm.
can only do so much. It definitely is, yeah, the
Yeah.
creativity and the story that does it first. I think
Mhm.
learning afterwards or having somebody help you afterwards is maybe good for organization.
Well, I think so many people get hung up on the credentials.
Hmm.
Um, and if you want to hone your book until you think it's absolutely perfect, go for it. Like, obviously, you want to put out the best story possible,
Yeah.
but you're never going to get there if you don't take a leap to begin with. I learned that the hard way with the first edition of Empire. I did rush it. Um, I finished the manuscript and I was excited and I put it out sooner than I should have. Um, and that when I got that first proof, it showed it was a mess.
Mm.
But that was the first time I ever put myself out there, actually. And if I hadn't done that and said, "All right, I messed this up, but I can fix it,"
Hmm.
um, then I wouldn't have any of it. I wouldn't have publishing. I wouldn't be working with the authors. I wouldn't know my author friends that I know now,
Yeah.
if I wasn't willing to just honestly shoot myself in the foot to get
Right.
myself running.
Yeah. I think even doing all the right things, so you can still find yourself in that position where a first book is going to be a
Yeah,
stepping stone to your next one and the furtherance of your career. You just got to
yeah.
leap and go for it. Were you nervous going into writing this series about the science?
No,
I
um,
love it.
no, not really. I I love sci-fi and I love hard sci-fi. Like, I love the Dune books. My wife and I are reading Project Hail Mary right now. Um, but I grew up on the cheese. I like nobody questioned the physics of space battles in the first Star Wars movie. Now we've got all the lore and everything. Oh yeah, so if it's fun, it's fun. My brother read the first three pages, the first three chapters as I was writing them, and
I missed.
I
What did he ask you?
he asked, why do the aliens speak English? And he was
Ah,
theorizing. It's like, well, is this like a time loop, or are they from the future? Is it like a Planet of the Apes thing? And I'm like,
yeah.
it's fun.
Just
I
go.
don't care.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, nobody questioned it in Flash Gordon.
Hmm.
I just read for the first time Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Ah,
The entire galaxy speaks English,
right.
coincidentally.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Um, And there was some stuff that I did try to make sense of. It's like, okay, um, if they're traveling at light speed for this long and they go here and they're navigating this, like, okay, try to make some kind of consistency in like how long it takes to get places.
Hmm.
Um, as it goes on, there will be a little bit more explanation of the science behind it. The
Hmm.
best compliment, one of the best compliments I've gotten is somebody saying, "I don't read sci-fi,
Hmm.
um, but I picked this up and it was super easy to get into,
Awesome.
and I think I want to try more sci-fi." I'm totally cool with being a starter book for some readers.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
What would you recommend somebody read next then?
After the Empire Marathon,
Yeah.
um, I think there are some. I mean, there are some great Star Wars books. I think honestly, C.S. Lewis has a great sci-fi series, beginning with Out of the Silent Planet.
Okay.
Um, it begins as a fun riff on that. I don't know what Edgar Rice Burroughs style sci-fi, like Princess of Mars. Um, Yet very quickly subverts the genre and becomes a lot more of a think piece on human nature and what being alien truly means.
Cool.
I think it's a wonderful book. It's a quick read. It's a little bit more advanced than the Narnia books, but C.S. Lewis is usually pretty easy to digest.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Yeah, I think that's a good stepping stone. Even Frank Herbert, before getting into the Dune books, he's got some shorter stuff. Um, I, Robot's a fun one.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
cool. I'm always curious about the ships, how people travel. Do you have a favorite spaceship from TV or movies or books?
Yes. Most of my favorite ships are from Star Wars. There's
Okay.
Falcon's an easy one.
Hmm.
Anakin Starfighter in Episode 3 is a beauty. Um, but outside of Star Wars, I would love to get my hands on the ship from the last Starfighter. That thing is
Oh,
incredible.
yeah.
Um, but there is a very obvious, I think is obvious. My dad thought it was very obvious, too obvious. Nod to another famous ship in my series, which finally made its debut on the cover of Gods of the Void.
Yeah.
Um, from the beginning, the
Uh,
Silent Horizon was inspired by the Icarus from Planet of the Apes. Now, I got into a fight with my dad about this because he said it's the exact same thing. I said, no, there are many differences. This is only the top half of Icarus, basically the nose, in a very basic triangle shape. You can't get much more basic than that.
right.
Um, and he's like, "Well, I know my sci-fi ships." I'm like, "Well, you obviously don't, because here's pictures of the full thing and how the Icarus flies and maneuvers. Mine flies and maneuvers in a totally different way, even though the layout of the cockpit is very similar."
Very cool.
Um, I think that ship, it's very unique. It's so simple in its design and so perfect for the era. Yet even in its simplicity, it stands out so much. I'll admit fully, I haven't hid this at all. The opening scene from Empire is actually my take on Charlton Heston's monologue in the original Planet of the Apes movie,
Okay. I
actually
had
inspired by him.
I had not picked up on that. Now I'm going to reread
Yeah,
it and compare.
yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
inspired by just Charlton Heston's nihilism. The whole movie is very nihilistic, and it's a wonderful movie. So we open with that kind of like, well, so long, Earth. Hope you do better without us. Probably won't though. And that's where Lacey comes in and tells the reader what we're getting into. This is not a nihilistic adventure. This is a romantic adventure. There's hope out there beyond the stars.
That's amazing. I'm going to throw my favorite ship at you and see what you
That's
make of
fine.
it because I think you're far more versed than I am, but I have a soft place in my heart for Firefly. So I do like the Serenity.
That is, that's not a ship, that's a boat.
That's a boat. Yes. It's a boat. A Western. It's that Western in space. It's its own character though. Like it's beautiful to
It
watch it
is.
function on the screen and it is very much Jewel Strait's
Mhm.
character always
Well,
is.
that's what makes, I think, sci-fi ships really stand out.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like again, I love the Anakin Starfighter in Episode 3. I think the N1 starfighters, the Nubian Naboo starfighters from Episode 1 are beautiful. Holy cow, that's like the Ferrari of the galaxy. Um, but we all know um, the Millennium Falcon, and
Yeah.
in Episode 6, when the radar dish is dinged off, we all freak out because that's like losing your pinky toe.
Right.
Um, I was very nervous about giving the ship a name in this series because I thought anything would sound stupid. Um, but now, especially in the third book, with how much the ship gets beat up, it's like the Silent Horizon might not make it out, and it's as much a character as um, the rest of them because it's their home, and
Yeah.
everybody who's bought their first home with their partner knows like
Yeah.
everything about the beginning of your life happens in that home, and that is it for
Right.
them.
Yeah.
Um, it's just it's their flying house.
I love it. We are running out of time. So you want to quick tell us, going back to writing technique for a second, what it means to show, not tell, and then we'll tell what our objects are.
Uh, to show not tell, yeah, it's giving. I mean, I guess the most best way to say it, giving away details without telling the audience.
Mhm.
Um, Dex's whole character motivation, um, which is only really revealed in full by the third book, is his disgruntlement with the world because of how his father was treated as a disabled veteran.
Mhm.
Um, these books kick off in the late 50s, and PTSD wasn't a formal thing until the 80s. So, working that into the story, that kind of the best days of our lives vibe, where it's something is wrong here, but we literally cannot comprehend what it is. We cannot give it a name. We don't know enough. And when you're living with that ignorance, it's frustrating and it's easy um, to be nihilistic and just want to call it quits.
Yeah.
Um, so these details aren't revealed in full. There's enough going on, like enough in passing, like small remarks or small actions, small reactions to things around him or things other characters say. Um, and Lacey at the end of it being that reminder, like, yeah, things suck sometimes, but there's beautiful things too. um, so I can't say if I did it well, the show don't tell well enough because
Yeah.
I think I did. I hope I did.
Yeah.
um, and I haven't gotten enough feedback yet from the third book to see if that arc has paid off for the readers, but
You'll find out.
we'll find out.
All right, well then why don't you show us that beautiful thing behind you and now tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about how it connects.
So I found this at the Upstate Tattoo Convention. I
Ah,
was next to a booth that had taxidermied mostly like possums,
yeah. Oh
but I
wow.
saw this and I saw a tag on it. And I had to get it because this is my big bad guy. This is a
Um,
golden emperor moth.
okay.
So we were right next to each other and I looked at it like I need this. And also
Yeah.
while finishing the edits for book 3, I discovered this musician. Her name is Mothica, and she's absolutely incredible. I've been using her song "The Void" in like all of my posts for this one.
Cool.
because
Very
it's
cool.
got this awesome like 80s synth, like dark synth, which is an 80s horror movie.
Yeah.
And the lyrics themselves are about that descent into the void, which when you get to book three, I'll feel a little on the nose.
Very cool.
So I had to get it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be really brief with mine. This is an inkwell that I got when we were at Plymouth Plantation. So I was learning about my ancestors from the Mayflower. Obviously, there are inkwells throughout my Rev series, but I am also working in a separate genre. The first book is Regency Ghosts Do Not Like Inkwells. So this kind of works for
Okay.
both of my books right now. Um, with our last few minutes, I do want to touch on the fact that you do publish other authors. For people watching who are curious about that, what is something that you look for in a manuscript before you decide to make an offer on it?
So I look for coherent storytelling. Um, yeah, an engaging, coherent story. There are certain traps I see a lot of people fall into,
Hmm.
usually stemming from the right train of thought, but just taken too far or not fulfilled enough. So I'll give a quick example. I got a submission a few weeks ago, started reading it, noticed some issues, but workable.
Yeah.
Um, and one of the big issues I saw was everybody's given the advice, write what you know, which is great because you don't want to sound silly writing about something you don't know. This person very clearly was a dog person. And that overshadowed some very critical aspects of this manuscript that made it lack coherency. And when I addressed this with him, the other thing that I look for as something to avoid is ego.
Mm-hmm, hmm.
I'm I'm personally very proud of all the books that we've published. I'm very proud of the sales. I'm very proud of the reviews. I'm still not on par with Stephen King, so I have no place to act like I'm better than anybody else. Yet
Hmm.
there are quite a number of people who have not published anything yet
Yeah.
and have an ego
Hmm.
and don't want to take any criticism.
Hmm.
I'm still open to criticism. That's why I encourage negative reviews if there are any. I don't want people to be nice about it. I want to know, like, what was
Yeah.
wrong? What didn't work?
Yeah.
Um, so I want submissions. I want to work with new people, but I want to work with people who are open to creative input. Um, because that more than anything will make me want to work with them. It could be
Yeah.
a very rough and not even finished first manuscript,
Hmm.
but if the passion is there
Yeah.
and you're willing to put hard work into it, I'm more than happy to work with you.
Yeah, I've run submissions as an editor for an anthology, and people I hadn't worked with, I definitely gave R&Rs, revise and
Mm-hmm.
resubmit, to see if those people were going to be workable. So
Mm-hmm.
that's like if you can't get a straight acceptance into something, that's like the next best thing, I think, because they
Yeah,
like you in the story.
it was weird because this person came at me. He's like, I think we can help each other, as
Hmm.
if he had something new to offer me, and maybe he did, but just that ego, like I
Yeah.
do have something. You're going to benefit from having me on your team. Like,
Hey,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Interesting. All right, we're down to our last 2 minutes. So, where can we find your books and where should we be leaving reviews?
My books can be found anywhere through any bookseller. There's a few Barnes Noble locations within New York State that they're located in. If you're in Saratoga, please pick them up. They ordered a lot of copies,
Oh, good.
and then they looked at me like, "Hey, so these are going to sell, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." Um, if you leave a review, Goodreads or Amazon, best place for me to see them.
Yeah.
Or if you want to DM me and be like, "Hey, I liked your book. I've gotten a few of those," and that
Oh,
makes me
good.
happy.
Yeah, it always is good to hear from people who like your book
Yeah,
and want to know when they're getting more. So,
yeah.
thank you so much. It's always good to chat with you.
It's
Sorry
great
about the
talking with you.
technical issues. And
Sounds great.
everybody go out and find Andrew's book.
And oh,
Oh,
and for both of us,
yes.
we're going to be partnering for a few events this year. July 26th. That's what it is. Sunday, July 26th. It's that Sunday of that
Oh,
weekend.
yes.
We will be attending a Books and Brews fundraiser book sale at Common Roots in South Glens Falls from 11 to 3. You can get both of our books there.
Yes. Supporting veterans.
Yeah,
So
that
what
too.
what better reason to come out to get books and brews?
Yeah,
All right. Andrew, thank you so much. I will be seeing you in July very
I
soon for
can't wait. I can't wait.
that.
It's gonna be a fun summer.
Absolutely. All right.
I'll
Thank
see
you,
you.
everyone. We'll see you around.